Thank you. I'm Betsy McCaughey, former Lieutenant Governor of New York State, a
patient
advocate, and chairman of the Committee to Reduce Infection Deaths. I've spent a good deal of my career in infection prevention in hospitals, and I admire many of the achievements of the VA in that area. But I'm here today to express my concern that this bill, passed in the Senate yesterday, the McCain-Sanders bill, will not save the lives of vets stuck on the wait list. This bill, as currently written, is designed to protect union jobs, not ailing vets. In fact, the VA is run largely by unions and for unions. And one of the culprits is this 316-page union contract full of mind-numbing rules that prevent assigning an employee to a new task, a new work shift, a new building, or reprimanding someone on the staff for misdeeds or just poor performance. 9 months ago, the VA rolled out a $9.3 billion initiative to allow vets who were stuck on wait lists to access civilian care. But the unions fought it as hard as they could. The American Federation of Government Employees labeled it in their newsletter, The Worker, an attempt to dismantle the VA brick by brick. That's not true, but they vilified it that way. And this current bill sabotages the ability of vets to access civilian care in 3 ways. First of all, it requires, and I'm referring to Section 301, starting on page 21, since I'm sure you'll be reading the bill. It requires that any vet wanting to access civilian care get a letter from the Secretary of the VA confirming that the vet has waited an unacceptable amount of time for treatment or lives more than 40 miles from a VA medical center. Good luck getting that letter. I talk to vets all the time who have contacted the VA, called them, emailed them every day for 6 months and couldn't get a reply. Secondly, if a VA does manage to get the letter and get the choice card and get to a civilian doctor, then he has to hand the card to the doctor, who is instructed to call the VA and get prior approval before treatment. Good luck getting somebody to answer that phone call. And thirdly, most preposterously, this bill states that this choice program will end in 2 years. In other words, a few hours after the VA manages to finally get the hotline up and get the cards distributed to vets, it will be over. So there is a way to solve this problem and put the vets in the driver's seat. And I'm going to credit the RAND researchers with this idea, because the fact is that almost half of vets stuck in these waiting lists are seniors. They're 65 or older, and they're virtually all on Medicare. If they were encouraged to seek non-combat related care, age-related care such as bypass surgery, angioplasty, at civilian hospitals, particularly teaching hospitals, it would reduce the backlog by as much as half, solving this national crisis. And in many cases, vets would get better care because the mortality rates at the teaching hospitals associated with many of these VA medical centers are much lower. They're high-volume hospitals, and they do these age-related procedures all the time. What's holding the seniors back is lack of knowledge about that resource, and secondly, the co-payments, the out-of-pocket expenses. We could give those vets who are already on Medicare a special VA Medigap card. It's budget neutral. You're already paying for the care. And yet it would allow them to access better care, it would reduce the wait list, and it would allow vets who have fought for our freedom, it would allow them the freedom to get the care they need. Thank you for this opportunity.